Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the ANU Open Day for 2023. My name is Reese Nickerson. I'm a second-year student here at ANU, and this is Leah, who is also a second-year student, and it is our pleasure to welcome you to this event today. The panel we have today, or the presentation, is titled Study Law, Change the World at ANU.
We're joined by some lovely panelists today who I will let Vash introduce in just a second, so please make them feel welcome.
Thank you, guys. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our panel today, Study Law and Change the World. My name is Varshini Viswanath, and I'm a Bachelor of Law and International Relations student here at ANU. Today, we'll be exploring some of the reasons that make Canberra and ANU the ideal place to study law. We'll preview some of the programs and touch on some of the opportunities that set ANU apart as Australia's national law school. First, I'd like to acknowledge and celebrate the first Australians on whose lands, traditional lands, we gather. That's the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people here in Canberra. I'd like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Now, it's my pleasure to welcome our lovely panel. Associate Professor Wayne Morgan is the Associate Dean for Education and an interdisciplinary scholar. Shashwat Tripathi is an ANU Chancellor Scholarship recipient and currently in the second year of his Juris Doctor studies. Zamara Rodriguez is an international student from Colombia who is currently completing her Master of International Law and Diplomacy. Nicole King is a manager of the college's Student Education and Services team. Thank you for being here, all of you. Wayne, I'd like to start off with you, if that's all right, just to share a snapshot of our college with everyone here. ANU offers dozens of degree programs. Why should a student here study law?
Well, the first reason and the most important reason is because our graduates achieve remarkable things. They really do change the world. Not only do they help their individual clients if they go into legal careers, but we also have more graduates than any other law school in the country that end up working for government and indeed the international civil service. So organisations like the UN, like the World Bank, like the World Trade Organisation, not to mention human rights organisations around the world. We also have many graduates who end up as judges all around the country, both in terms of state Supreme Courts and indeed the High Court itself. We've had graduates that have started their own important international human rights organisations. For example, one recent graduate who started their own organisation helping displaced people in the Middle East, both with their practical aspects but also with resettlement. So our graduates, as I said, really do change the world. Apart from that, of course, the ANU College of Law is a top 20 globally ranked law school. And when you think of the size of us, that means we really punch above our weight. Currently second in the country after Melbourne. Our academics are world leading in a number of areas, particularly public law, in other words, government law, or indeed international law, but also, of course, in a range of other areas as well. And one thing I would highlight is what I call our expertise in socio-legal areas. So in other words, the way that law impacts the world, society, and indeed the way that law can be used to bring about change. Apart from that, alumni. We have alumni all around the world. And again, you truly do join a global network of graduates if you study law at the ANU. And finally, of course, and I already touched on this at the beginning, the career opportunities and graduate employment rates in terms of our graduates are incredibly high. And as I said, that doesn't just go here in the country, but indeed around the world. So, want to change the world? Study law at ANU.
Thanks so much, Wayne. It really is an amazing experience studying law just around the corner from the High Court and the Parliament where laws are made and discussed. Nicole, can you tell us a little bit more about the programs available at ANU College of Law and your advice to prospective students about those programs?
Sure, I think I got the tough one, covering this in 3 to 4 minutes. I'll start with our undergraduate program, our Bachelor of Laws Honours, and I'm guessing that's why most of you are here today. So I will focus on that one mainly. Our LLB program has an intake at the beginning of every year, obviously. And the best way to apply for that program is through the university's direct admissions, also known as ASA, Admissions, Scholarships and Accommodation. That opened on the 1st of March, so already open. So please do get your applications in. And I guess the best advice I can give you is make sure you put law first. Because if you don't, you may miss out. We have a cap on our program every year of 350 new students. So therefore, when we reach the 350, we shut the doors, all done. The most questions I get asked about this, I know it's not part of my question, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I know you all want to know, is what do I do if I don't get the 97 ATAR? And the best advice I can give you for that is to come anyway. You accept the other part of your degree because most students who come to the ANU do what we call a flexible double degree. So that means you do law plus something else. And I think at the moment there's about 36, there's probably more. I didn't check that figure, but there's a lot of combinations that you can do. So a lot of our students come and accept their other offer first, and they come in and they do that part of their degree. And then after 12 months at the ANU, we ask you to get a GPA of 5.6, which is a high credit. So once you get that 5.6, you can then come into law in your second year at the ANU and still complete your flexible double degree in the 5-year time frame. So you lose no time. You just double down on the first part for the first 12 months and then you catch up on law in your second year. So on to our other programs. We also have our Juris Doctor program, which is our postgraduate education program that leads to practice after we do practical legal training when you complete. We then have 3 master's programs now. We've got our Master of Laws, we've got our Masters of International Law and Diplomacy, of which you'll hear from Zamara shortly in that program, and we have our Master of Financial Management and Law. So those master's programs, our straight Master of Laws is a 12-month. We can do it, you can take longer, of course, but you can complete in 12 months. And the other 2 are combinations with other colleges. So Zamara's degree, our Master of International Law and Diplomacy, we double down there with CAP, which is the College of Asia and Pacific. So you do the diplomacy stuff with them and the law stuff with us and come out with that double master's degree. And then finally, we have 2 graduate certificates of law, which are often used as pathways. If you haven't studied for a while, if your GPA is not high enough to get into the Masters, which is a 5, and same for the JD, you can start off in what we call the Graduate Certificate of Law or the Graduate Certificate of New Technology Law. And that way you can come in with a GPA that's lower, you can get your academic skills back up and then transfer straight into one of the Masters programs, getting credit for those graduate certificates. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nicole. I know that was a lot of information, but thank you for distilling that for our prospective law students. Now, there are many advantages linked to studying law here, including our expertise, our world-renowned academics, and the vibrant campus life. Shashwath, can you tell us about your involvement in clubs and societies at ANU and how that's enriched your law studies, as well as some of the research you've led with your classmates?
Thank you, Wash. I would speak about 3 extracurriculars that I've been a part of, and they have transformed the way I have understood law. And I've taken the learnings from the classroom to these things. One of the best things about the College of Law is the extracurriculars here truly are remarkable in the sense that they truly give you an opportunity to take what you've learned in the classes in the real world. So let's speak about number 1, which is the Journal of Law and Technology. I've got the opportunity to be the editor-in-chief this year. The Journal of Law and Technology is the place where it's a journal, an academic journal, where academics submit their articles and we publish them. We as students, we are part of the admin team and we lead the administrative process of it. But that place is a remarkable place to hone your passion, if you have, in law and technology, which is something that I'm very passionate about at the College of Law. The other thing that I'm a part of is the ANU International Law Society, which is a society dedicated to the study of international law as a subject and as a discipline and careers in it. We have hosted people like foreign ministers of the country in the past. We've held high court justices at the society. We've held the Assistant Secretary General of the UN, which is the second highest person of the UN in our society. They've come and spoken to us. They've come and spoken to our students about a career in international law. And the third one is the Law Reform and Social Justice Research Hub, which is part of a broader law reform project. In this reform hub, the Commonwealth government or other state, the Common Parliament, my apologies, and other state parliaments sometimes do inquiries, so that they're passing a bill or a treaty, they do an inquiry, and they want to hear from the Australian public what they think about that. So we get, as students, paired up in teams as part of the Law Reform Research Hub, and we write submissions to the Common Parliament, and we research, and there are no entry requirements or no applications or no gatekeeping for it. You can just show passion and be a part of it. And you write these submissions, and a lot of times, if your submission is very interesting, the Parliament invites you and your team in person to visit the Parliament. And that's what happened with our team. And we sent a submission in the Australia-UK Free Trade Agreement. They were signing a free trade agreement last year. And we wrote a submission, and we were a team of 3, and I talked about smart legal contracts, which is something I'm really interested in on the side. And the Joint Committee on Treaties, which is made up of senators and members of Parliament of the Commonwealth Parliament, invited us. So we got to the Parliament and we spoke to them in a public hearing, and they asked us questions and we prepared for it, and it was absolutely fantastic because in very tiniest way, maybe we participated in the lawmaking process, and that was so interesting as students. We also have mooting. We send our students to Tokyo, to all parts of the world, to Oxford. We also have a range of other internships and so many things that you can become a part of if you choose to study law at the ANU. And the bottom line is, if you're proactive and if you want to be a part of something, there'll always be something at the College of Law that you can be a part of. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Shashwath. I know I'd want to join those societies and everything. So I just wanted to add some of these other opportunities that I've been part of. One of them was a community legal education program as part of the Law Reform and Social Justice Society. Now, this is a program that visits high schools around Canberra to inform them about legal rights on issues that are relevant to them. Let's say online privacy law or labour law. I know when I started working, I didn't know you had to sign a contract, but going to these seminars and presenting them just helps you develop skills and also helps you set yourself apart from other law students around the country. I would just like to add that being an ANU law student will set you apart even for opportunities outside of ANU. So please join us. Next. Zamara, we've spoken about what makes Canberra a great student city. What are some of the student services and programs that have enriched your experience as a student at ANU College of Law?
Thank you. Well, I moved from Canberra to Canberra like a year ago. I moved from Sydney. I will describe Canberra like a really good city to stay focused to study, firstly. Secondly, as well, it's a good city like where you can meet people from different backgrounds. I'm from Colombia, but I've met people from like some part of Europe, like India, from like a lot of Pacific Islands. So that I think is going to give to you a lot of skills, like a lot of international organizations or even companies here in Australia are looking for, like how you can like speed or like relationship with people from different countries. Also, Canberra is a good place for those people that want to start an early career, like working either in law firms or like with embassies. Even as an international student, I was able to get a job here in an embassy, so which is good, and it's kind of like I'm getting some experience during the time like I am study as well and working. So I think that's a good option. Another point is like here in Canberra, for example, they do a lot of events, like they do like a monthly, like a one diplomatic event, like with different embassies. You can go there, like obviously expand your networking, like obviously it's something good for your career as well. Another point as well, like for those students like don't have English as a first language, and you as well offered a lot of like support to those students. So I have been like since my first year, I got like mentors, I got like people like to support me through my assignments, and I can say that I never got a score less than 17 in any assignment, even when English is not my first language. But that was because of the support of those academic tutors in ANU. Also, they have a mentoring program, which is really nice. You can get to know people like obviously had more experience and are doing something similar to what you're doing. For example, they support you to go like when you want to go for an interview, or how you to make a good CV, or how you can even when you're going to events, how you can interact with another people. So that is fantastic as well. As another point, and it's something like I really like from ANU Law School, is like you can arrange your internships. That's I think is an amazing experience. So I am in the process, for example, now to arrange an internship with law school to go to Tanzania, which is amazing. So I think that's obviously, it's gonna give me to me the capabilities. When I finish my degree, I'm gonna decide, okay, I wanna go for this area, or I wanna work with international organizations or stuff like that. So I think it's like the law school is one of the best here in Australia. I did a lot of research as well before to decide to stay here, and yeah, come to join us.
Thanks so much, Samara. Coming from the perspective of a mentor in the peer-assisted learning program, we exist just to help first-year and second-year law students really develop those key skills you need, not just in law school, but as a lawyer or in any other career, such as legal analysis and essay writing. These sorts of skills and student services that Samara has mentioned will really enrich your experience here at ANU. Finally, if we can quickly go around the panel, maybe a sentence or two of advice that you would like to give students as they continue on or start their law degree at ANU. Maybe we'll start with you, Shashwat.
All right, thank you, Vash. I think I would say how I would like to describe the ANU is it's like a big fest. You know, you attend music fests and stuff like that. It's a big festival. There's everything happening in every part of the corner of the university, in every other department. And in particular in the College of Law, there's so much happening in terms of lectures or extracurriculars or this or that project. I think my biggest tip would be to make sure you take advantage of these opportunities and be proactive. Seek out of sort of a little bit of your comfort zone. It's a bit of a cliche thing to say, and I promise I understand that. But I trust me on this. If you step out of the classroom and your comfort zone and try to do something, you can achieve remarkable things. So take the best out of what you can of this big, really amazing festival.
Thanks so much, Shashwat. I'll hand it over to Samara now.
I think it can feel scary a little bit, especially for those students like Arno here from Canberra, to make the decision to move here. It can be scary for the parents. It can be scary, obviously, to leave the friends, family. But it's for a good decision. Like, you will be here fine. You're gonna meet a lot of fantastic people. You're gonna be around. You can even choose to live on campus or even out of campus. I think for undergrads, living campus is gonna be an amazing experience. Like, it's definitely gonna change your life. You're gonna make friends for life there, absolutely. So it can be scary, of course, but life is like that. You need to make decisions to like get your goals going through.
Thanks so much, Samara. Wayne, would you like to go next?
Well, I'm the academic on the panel, aren't I? So what am I going to say? Study hard. Honestly, the more you put into it, the more you will get out of it, and you will grow exponentially, both in terms of your skills, also in terms of your knowledge, but as my fellow panelists have demonstrated, in terms of then putting that into real-world application through the sorts of projects and opportunities that you get both within the degree because of things like internships and clinics, but also outside the degree in the number of things that you can involve yourself with that really do contribute to society. So yeah, the more you put in, the more you'll get out.
Thanks so much, Wayne. Over to you, Nicole.
Yeah, I might not be the academic, but I'm the one in charge of all your results. So my advice for you is to ask for help and ask often and ask early. I guess I cannot stress that enough. There's nothing worse for me than seeing a law student struggle. I have a team of 21 fabulous staff, and their job is just to help you. That's all they, and help academics. We do have to help academics as well, because they're not so good with the paperwork either on occasions. So I guess that is my biggest piece of advice to you. We have a general email address at law, that is inquiries.law. If you email that anytime, any place, you will get a response. And if it's not the right place, we will make sure it gets there. We have one email address only for student support. And I guess there is a lot of support. I can't stress that enough. I know someone's already talked about PAL, our peer-assisted learning, but we also have numerous welfare measure reports. We have education access plans to assist if there's a disability. We also have lots of things to assist, like coursework extensions, special consideration, so many ways that we can help you. We run general student appointments. We have a student counter that is open every single day, and we expect you to drop in and drop in often. There is no point in guessing and getting it wrong. There is a whole band of experts to help you, and that's their job. So I guess that's my biggest piece of advice.
Thanks so much, Nicole. And thank you, everyone, for joining us to learn more about studying law at ANU. A reminder that we have many pre-recorded informative videos produced for today that can be viewed via the ANU Open Day website. These sessions include panel discussions on clinical programs, internships, careers, and a 360-degree video tour of the ANU College of Law. There's also tips for thriving as an international student, an introduction to law reform and social justice, and much more. You can learn more about today by speaking to our staff and students in the Marie Ray Teaching Center or by visiting our website. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you at ANU soon.
Thank you so much for that amazing panel.
Our next session in Manning Clark will be Diversity at ANU, 10 questions with 10 students starting at 11:35. We hope to see you then.